5 years on semen retention. What does that feel like? What has happened to me? What things did I experience that the internet says? So on the internet there has been going around a rumor about when you are on semen retention that you will attract more women, that they will lock eyes with you, that you will gain more energy to go to the gym or do stuff, you will get more aggressive, you just feel more purpose in your life. So when you're so focused on something, as an example, you're trying to better your relationship with God, semen retention will help you with this. Because what you're doing, you are basically denying your flesh, you're fasting, and this will accelerate your process. And also let me tell you this, it is true that you attract more women when you're on semen retention. I've been on semen retention for 5 years. And the first year I went on semen retention, I went 365 days, a year, because I really wanted this. I had no attention from women at all. That was my first reason back then. Right now I'm not doing it for that reason. But back then it was that reason. I was not very close with my relationship with God. So I went on semen retention for that reason. And because my why was so big and strong, it caused me to go a whole year without fapping. And while I was on semen retention my first year, I also went to the gym and started that habit of going to the gym for 3 times a week. And you know, after 5 years, it has got me this physique. Now, let's not be too prideful here, because too much pride is a sin. You can be proud of something, but don't be prideful. And what I would notice about women when I was on semen retention is I didn't even have to say a word. And I could see them watching me. They're looking at me from a distance, or they're trying to get closer in my space, you know, in my surroundings. And society often tells you that the man has to initiate first, which I agree with, because a man, you should take initiative. But it happened to me that a few women came up to me and just asked my name and asked what's going on with my life, and they were so interested in me. And I don't know why that happened. Yeah, of course, semen retention, but why? I'm trying to understand how semen retention could have this big of an impact. And it's because when you have a purpose in your life and you are on semen retention, you're so focused on that purpose, you are not going to get distracted from that path. You have a higher priority than those women around you, and that will make you special, because in our society, most of the men are just blindly giving attention to beautiful women like that. And when a beautiful woman sees that you're not giving her attention because you're so focused on your purpose and you're retaining your seed, you're in control of yourself. And that's what the biggest thing is, you're in control of yourself. If you can master your sexual desire, if you have control over that, then you have power to do a lot of things. And this power, this strength comes from God only. So you need to take God with you on the semen retention journey. By the way, for the people that don't know what semen retention is being celibate. No sex, no fapping, no porn, nothing. And of course, when I do get married, I will stop semen retention, but I will still be on NOFAP, and that is no fapping, no porn, but I can have sex with my wife. And people also talk about the endless energy you get when you're on semen retention, and that's really true. I've been working 12-hour shifts, and I come home, and I still feel fully energized. Like I want to do something, I want to be productive. And when I used to fap, when I used to watch porn, I was always so drained, so depressed. I was so insecure about myself. I had no purpose, I had nothing going on. And that's the difference. A man needs purpose. He needs to do something with his life, otherwise he will feel depressed. If you feel depressed because you're not doing something, then you are deserving to feel that way. And some may ask me, you're 5 years on semen retention right now, but why don't you have a girlfriend yet or a wife yet? That's because of other reasons. I've dated a few women. A few of them I wasn't really physically attracted to. They were great persons with very good personalities, but I just wasn't attracted, and you can't force that. You need to be attracted to the inside and the outside. And there was some times where I was attracted to the outside, but the inside wasn't matching with mine. And there's one big problem that 90% of women have, and that is a problem with communicating the right way. When you have problems, you communicate. When you don't like something, you communicate. When you want something different, you communicate. When you're not interested anymore, you communicate. You don't just leave someone like that and just leave without saying anything. That's just immature. And I found out that most women my age are still immature and they can't communicate. And I'm just talking about the 90% of the women that can't communicate, because the 10% that can communicate, 8% of them are taken, are happily married, and the other 2% are still building their lives, and they are very difficult to find. But I know God will give me it one day. It is worth the wait. I'm still a virgin. But what 5 years of semen retention has taught me is that when you are working on something long enough, When you stick to something long enough, it will get easier by time. You will get more experience. Of course, in the span of 5 years, I have failed a lot of times. But that didn't stop me. It even made me stronger. I could recognize patterns right now that will lead me to a relapse. I know that when I do fail one time, because we are all humans, we are all flesh, we are all sinners, sometimes we fail. I will get back up and I will not be depressed because of one time that I failed in 300 days. God has forgiven us, and that doesn't mean the sin is justified, but I'm telling you, we are sinners. Sometimes we lust, sometimes we use curse words, every day we sin. And the fact that you are conscious about not doing the deed or watching porn, and you're taking responsibility for that, you're trying to fight back, that's very good of you. And you shouldn't get discouraged when you fail once or twice. You should get back up. With time, it will get easier for you. You will start to learn to deal with it. And about the patterns, the more experience you get with semen retention, the more you are going to start to recognize which patterns lead you to a relapse. Sometimes people work 5 days a week and then they get a holiday, they get vacation, and they have one whole week of freedom. They can do what they want, they're sitting at home, and that boredom is causing them to seek dopamine, and they're going to Pornhub and doing the deed because they're bored, and after that they feel really You have to stay busy while you're on semen retention, because what you're doing is you're retaining your seed, and there is power in that seed. That's why when you release you feel so weak, because your testosterone lowers and you feel like you want to sleep. And also, if you're going to do semen retention just for women, don't do that. Do it to build and work on your purpose. And whenever you get attacked by the devil in your head, go watch porn, go fap. Tell him this. James 4 verse 7. Submit yourselves therefore to God, and the devil will flee from you. This path is really worth it. Before this path, I just didn't know what I would do in the future. I had nothing going on at all. I just didn't know what I should do, how I should make money, how I should get a wife or a girlfriend or experience going on a date. I never knew that stuff. But being on this path for 5 years, I built my dream physique. Right now I'm 2 years into day trading, building my business. And every time I have the energy to do it, even when I don't feel like it. Because semen retention also will give you discipline. Because you're resisting, you're fighting back against that sexual desire. And if you can control that, you can control a lot of things. And discipline being one of them. Going to the gym when you don't feel like it. Doing the work when you don't feel like it. Praying when you don't feel like it. Reading the Bible when you don't feel like it. Going to church when you don't feel like it. Guys, it is worth it. And there's always going to be some haters saying, yeah, you need to release once a week, it's not good, you will get prostate cancer, you will get higher risk of that. Trust God, man. Why do you think God tells us to avoid these things? It's for a reason. In Proverbs somewhere it says that we will be a wise person if we follow the rules of our Father. If we keep those standards. I used to be very insecure around women in that time. But because I built evidence, 5 years on semen retention, built a dream physique, relationship with God has gotten better, and building my business has all got me the evidence that I should feel good about myself because I'm doing something with my life. And that caused the insecurity to go away when I was around women. I know some of you may still fail every day or once a week, but brother, it's all in your head. It's a choice. Remove yourself from that place where you tend to relapse. Remove those patterns that lead up to that relapse. Get it by the root and cut it out. Listen, if you get tempted by social media, you can't just use a blocker because you will bypass that blocker. Remove whole social media. I went offline from social media for 4 years, 3 or 4 years. And in those 3 or 4 years, I worked hard on productive things. And now, me at 21, I'm not thinking that high of myself, but I have to say, I'm further in life than most 21-year-olds. And I still treat people the same. I'm still a humble person to those people. I even give them advice. And I don't put myself up there on the pedestal because I don't deserve to. I'm still a sinner. But if you want to feel good about yourself, you need to build evidence. And semen retention is a good start for those people that are struggling in life, because this will teach you discipline and patience and consistency, and those 3 things, this will help you a lot in life. Because what's the formula to success? That is discipline, consistency and patience. And semen retention teaches you exactly that. Guys, I hope you liked this video. Give me the thumbs up, subscribe. And if you want to join the Discord with fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, feel free to join, links in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.